sing a new voice. Unison, a reverie translates the feelings lost. Battles won in vain, searing the flame no matter what. Some blood harvest, loss and pain, owing to love. The nature of love, the nature of love, the nature of love, the nature of Throughout the time we spent getting to know each other well, my deep admiration has changed into attraction as well as encompassing the curving waves that sway from seashells to hold against your ears and hear the sound of your true self. The nature of love, the nature of love, the nature of love, the nature of the nature of love, the nature of love, the nature of love, the nature of a natureza do amor. Oba, 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 maravilha, 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 que bom estar com vocês. It's so good to be sharing some time with you today. It is Monday, yes, 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 it is Monday, and I'm Frederico7. So happy to be sharing some music and community. Que bom estar aqui, compartiendo música y comunidad con ustedes. We got Mohammad and Roberto from Atash, great international band, premier international band based here out of Austin with master musicians from across the globe. So it's going to be great to explore the history of Atash and have some fun with Mohammad and Roberto. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. The song that you just heard, that is called "Nature of Love." That's by my band, Frederico7. Is a song I wrote for my wife. The month of February is here, so yeah, we are in the month of love. Sending love to all of our, talking about love, sending love to healthcare providers, to teachers all over the world, in todo el mundo. So hi, I am here. See, it's great if you are tuning in from Austin Music Channel, channel 16. Oh, thank you for being here. CS. And if you are here on YouTube, on Facebook, abraço. If you are in the Frederico7 YouTube or Facebook, the comments that you have, we can share those with Roberto, with Mohammad. So if you have comments, keep them coming and say hello and so forth. As una comunidad, that's all we are doing here, just bringing some community. My show changed to Mondays at 7 p.m. It just works better with what's happening in my world. But at any time, you can just check it out. To be honest, at any time you can see past shows that I've done with Austin musicians and other international musicians based out of different places on earth. On my Yeah, it's right here in the bottom. Yeah, that's right. You can subscribe on my YouTube channel. There are some interviews. Last semester I did 22 interviews with our friends, nossos amigos. Así que muito obrigado. And well, it's I'm just sending, before we move on with music by Atash, I want to just send some love to all of us. We are hurting with what's happening throughout the world and throughout the country. We are missing live music, we are missing connection. So this time here right now, neste momento aqui agora, nesse momento, é um momento de conectar-nos, is a time just to share a little bit of our passion and our love for what we do. So thank you for tuning in always. And let's hear some Atash. I am going to let me set it all up for all. That's right. And guys, you know what? Next week, as I'm setting up this, next week, look who we got next week on Monday, next Monday. Indrajit Banerjee. Yes, next Monday, we are going to be having a conversation with master sitar player Indrajit. Looking forward to talk to him. And right now, let's check it out. This Amshab live. This is Atash. This is Amshab. Enjoy it.
آواز بخونم امشب میخوام تا صبح برقصم امشب میخوام ماه و ستاره بخونم با من مست و جانان ستاره نشسته توی چشمان ترانه شده حرف و صدا ستاره نشسته توی چشما لا 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 تا صبح برقصم امشب میخوام تا صبح بخونم امشب میخوام ماه و ستاره بخونم با من مست و جانانه ستاره نشسته توی چشما رفته شده حرف و صداها ستاره نشسته توی چشما لا 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 لا
Atash. Atash. Simply wonderful, simply wonderful. Hello, hello, amigos. Oi, tudo bem, gente? Queridos, whether you are here in Austin, Texas, abraço if you're tuning in from Austin Music TV, channel 16. Yes, you can, you can reach us many ways. You can see in the bottom here, right on the bottom, all of this information flashing. Thank you so much. If you are on the Frederico7 YouTube or also on the Frederico7 Facebook. Obrigado, obrigado for joining. Featuring my dear friend, fun history. We're going to talk a little bit about how I was a road manager for Atash. There was one time I was in a situation where we packed a bus, a full bus with 35 musicians, including Atash, my band, and the Austin Samba School, members of the Austin Samba School. And we got in a bus from Austin all the way to Durango, Mexico to perform at a festival. It was fantastic, it was amazing. That was just one of the many chapters that I have with these beloved friends and outstanding musicians. So let's check it out. Before I get out of the way here and we can get to the interview, just a reminder: the next week on Monday, Yes, on Monday. So every Monday at 7 p.m., I am interviewing friends and musicians all over the world and also international musicians in Austin. Então, meus amigos do Brasil, beijo para vocês. Kiss for if you're tuning in from anywhere in the world. Next Monday, we just like today, we have another treat next Monday with a world class sitar player and also, also member of Atash, but a master musician, Indrajit Banerjee. We are going to be talking about the music of India and his music next week. Can't wait for that. It's going to be amazing. But right now, yeah, let's have a conversation with these handsome fellas here, Mohammad Firoozi and Roberto Riggio of Atash. Let's uh, let's see what they got to say about music, about love, about life. Let's check it out.
Roberto hired me because my voice, but it was because of my look. We're good now. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm here with my friends Roberto and Mohammad from Atash. Hello, Austin Music Channel. Hello, amigos in Latin America, friends in Brazil and Mexico, all over the world. If you happen to be here, we're gonna have a conversation. Parts of Atash, and you guys have all these stories on your all world. I have a lot of questions to ask you, but let's start with the basics. Mohammed, how are you doing today, this morning? Did you say hello to the sun?
Yes, I did. I say hello to the sun every morning, and that's how I start my day, by going out there and saying hello to the sun, because you know I feel the earth and the sun and the life and the beauty and things that are important. So, and the way life is, any moment we could be gone. So I make sure that I get the sun.
I love it. I think that your son Esteban needs to help you one day to get all the images that you have, because every morning you take a picture of the sun and you put on your social media.
Yeah,
One day you have to make a video like that shows all of them all together.
yeah,
Would be very cool to see.
yes. I would love to do that one day, and it's all there. You know, it doesn't have to be sun. It could be rainy day, cloudy day, whatever it is. I take a shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
love it. I love it.
Do you take the shots at the same time every day, Mo?
mm, well, yeah, I leave the house at 7, so you know when things happen, sometimes there is a cloud and sun comes up and makes a beautiful painting. I usually, on each photo I write, you know painters of eternity, because these guys been drawing, painting for you know God knows.
I
For
know, and so often we don't even look at it. It happens every day.
Yeah, it happens every day, and you know I don't know how to describe it. I feel like every day the whole neighborhood should get up and greet the sun and the day, but I guess they tell me they have to go to work.
so so everyone meet Mohammed, the sun worshipper. And Roberto, how are you doing, man? You before the pandemic and everything, you're so active playing with different groups, playing and teaching, and things definitely slow down for all of us. How are you doing today and in general? What's up in your world?
I'm doing really well. I've kind of embraced the idea of inertia, you know, uh,
Hmm.
which has two sides to it. It's a word that we use in like kind of opposite meanings. Like it can mean that nothing is happening, or it can mean that when something starts happening, it just keeps going. You know, the physical law of inertia. So I'm sort of embracing that. I figure things will pick up when they pick up, and right now I'm cool. I'm cool with just sort of being.
Wow, that is um, often as humans we are afraid of the silence, or we are afraid of just hearing our own selves, and we've all had a lot of time to get into the silence. When you talk about the inertia, is like, yes, you're settling in into just being. um what role has does music has in that settling in into, like, going from that place that we are creating music to perform? Has your relationship with music changed now that we are a year into the pandemic? Um,
I don't think my relationship with music has changed. Um, I think that my attitude towards uh, you know my career has changed a bit. I guess when you go from doing lots of gigs all the time to no gigs at all, which in some ways was needed, because hey Mo, could you mute your side for a minute? It's distracting me.
mhm.
um,
Oh, I got it. I got
okay. Uh, yeah, there was just like now I lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, I had been going from doing so many gigs to the point where sometimes I felt like, man, I wish the world could just stop for a minute so I could catch my breath. And then it did. It just stopped. So, in a way, I was grateful for that, at first, because I really needed a chance to just sort of slow down and take stock, and realize what was important. Um, and I think that I'm still kind of in that process right now.
It's interesting because the music that you guys do, the music that you write, and all of the words and the message that you give, Mohammed, when you are singing, and you guys embellishing that, the music of Atash uh, is a music that naturally invites your audience to be, to better face what we are facing right now. Like, oh, take stake of the things that are there for us every day: the sun, the rhythm of the stars, embracing your kid every day when you can. For me, your music really much takes us back to source. Um, talk, Mohammed. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that. Like, even the name of the band, Atash Fire. Um, um, it For me now, it's never been more important to to listen to Atash, and we cannot see you live. So it's part of the reason that I wanted to have you guys and talk to you guys today and play your music, because I feel that even though we cannot be together to experience the ceremony of your band, the ideas of your music are the ideas that we really, in this pandemic, a lot of people are like, yeah, let's commune with the sun. Yes, um, let's look at our neighbor as an equal. You know, there are issues even in the band, in the band that you guys have. There are people from almost all the continents. You guys are multicultural and diverse band in many ways. How is it, Mohammed, to to not be able to share that with people right now and to know that your message is so important at this time?
Um, well, being apart from that, actually, this pandemic is separating all of us, you know, but that we might be separated physically, but spiritually we are together, like I love you and I love Roberto, even though we are separated physically, but with heart we are with each other. So music is like that. I have never taken music for granted because I come, from a place where I did not have that much privilege of really playing it. So to be able just to play music, is a blessing for me. To be in a place where I just playing music, just just have a stage and and this beautiful players around me to just be so. So I can say, and I can dare to say that I have never taken what what music has meant to me for granted. In other words, 20 years ago, I was saying, God knows, where this can stop, because I have been there, where I did not have access to it. So every moment of it, I have enjoyed, and I have always shared it with the band, that just to be able to play music is a blessing. And if you really look at it, like the band like Rolling Stones, they are so huge and they have all the money, but they still go and they go out there and they play music because the bottom line is playing music. Playing music is the most important thing. It's amazing that now we cannot play music and all we wish for is, oh, I wish I could play music.
Hmm.
But before, maybe some of my friends would say, no, this is not all I want to do. I want to be successful. I want to instead of playing for 100 people, I want to play for 100,000 people. But now we're saying, oh man, I wish I could just go out there and just play for a real club, because
For 5 people,
huh?
for play just for yourself.
Just play for yourself. Even that is a blessing, you know, because you might not even be able to do that. So I think it takes us back to the that just being alive and being able to be here is a blessing. I know that we are going through issues of not playing music, but to me right now, just being alive is a blessing. Just being able to see the sun is a blessing. Just being able to have food is blessing. There's so many people out there are putting their life on the line for me. I am sitting here and all I am missing is, music. But some people really actually have to go out there and put their life on the line to help other people. So I have no complaint. I have
Yeah,
nothing to complain.
I'm right there with you, Mo.
Yeah, I
Right
am.
there with you.
I'm good.
Yes, no, I am. We are good
I
too.
mean,
And
the
if
only
there,
thing I really miss is the only thing I really miss the most is just playing with other musicians. Um,
Yeah.
That's always a lot of fun, and I do miss that. But I've done a few little outdoor like backyard or front yard serenade type things for people with no sound system, all acoustic, and just like maybe, you know, 4 to 5 people in the audience. And that's been really enjoyable. I mean, I haven't done very many of those,
Yeah.
but whenever I have done it, it's sort of getting down back down to basics
Yes.
with music. I mean, just the idea of not having a sound system,
Yeah.
playing acoustically, and people uh, really listening and appreciating it because they're so starved for it too.
You know,
Uh,
I was telling Roberto some time ago that the first musicians, in the early, they played music, for themselves and for the mother, father, brother, sister, cousins. And then somebody says, "Hey, why don't you come to my house and play for for in my house? Why don't you, come to the park somewhere and play? So that's what we're doing. I mean, I go to the park and I play with, some musicians. I pass by Roberto's house every day and I scream at him, "Hey!"
yeah, he usually screams when I'm sitting out on my front porch, and then I get up and I go back inside because
So
Back to basics, huh?
yeah,
so it's you know, it's good. You know, we are finding this is the situation we're in, and you know, it's gonna pass. We're gonna go back, and we're gonna play music. Whoever is lucky to go back, whoever makes it through this pandemic, you know, life is all. One thing I have not forgotten, and I've always told the band was that we are always surrounded by, chased by death. Death is always around us. So we should live it. We should live. And, here we are, today
Living.
is a day, tomorrow is another day. Day by day, we go.
Oh, that is beautiful. If I just want to give another shout to folks that are watching on channel 16, Austin TV, Music TV, and anybody here in Austin or throughout America Latina. Big hugs, un abraço, abraço para vocês. I'm talking to Atash, to the leaders of Atash, Mohammad Firoozi and Roberto Riggio. If you are not here in Austin and you don't know much about the Austin music scene, then I have to tell you, Atash is an international band with master musicians from many continents that create music that is unique and that brings so many elements together. And I want to talk a little bit about that eventually. Let me put just a picture of you guys here, like just to have that memory that yes, you're there. You are with other people in a beautiful moment. Do you remember where was this at?
I think this is maybe Austin Music Award or something like that.
Yeah, this is at the Austin Music Award.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can see Jason there, terrific drummer, and your beautiful guitar player, and of course, John Moon, the other violinist of Atash, and Abu, our beautiful friend, Abu Sila. So yeah, I think you guys have won the best world music band in Austin for at least 5 times, or about 5 times, I believe.
6 times.
6 times. There you go. Yeah, come on.
Oh, no
Don't
counting.
come on. Come on. Come on.
7 if you count the album cover. We went one time our album cover won.
Oh, amazing. Was it this one by
Yep,
chance?
that was it.
Oh,
Andrea Burden.
Yeah,
Andrea Burden.
and dear
We
brother, she's in heaven, and it's beautiful to think of her and her beautiful artwork, and you know, she's watching.
yes.
Yeah,
Anybody watching that remembers beautiful artist Andrea Burden? The other day I was thinking about her art as well, thinking about the tall giraffes, the psychedelic or dreamy landscapes she would made. That's great that she was the one that made the cover for your album. Guys, we are talking about going back to basics and in these ways and being thankful for what we have, and being thankful for the healthcare providers, the healthcare workers, and the teachers as well, because teachers and all of the folks. And coming back to basics, let's talk a little bit about that. For you, Roberto, how did it all start for you? How did you fall in love with music, and and then was it a did you know immediately that you were going to follow that path? Was it a gradual process that you were introduced to the musical path? How did it work for you?
Well, I think I was always drawn to music. In fact, I found a tape the other day, a cassette tape that was me when I was like, I guess, one,
Wow.
and it was at my grandparents' house in Mexico City, and my grandfather had Frank Sinatra playing on his hi-fi, and I was running through the house screaming, music, music. So, it was, I always loved music. And my grandfather, there was a lot of musicians in my family, my grandfather, my mom, my aunts. And, and so I think I just was hypnotized by it, it was like it was one of those things where I just I would sit, you know, I loved sound. I just loved even just playing a few notes on the piano. I love to just listen to the sound of the notes, dying off and fading away and the overtones and everything. And I think I just always wanted to be a musician. I should say, I always wanted to be a part of music, whatever that, whatever that meant. Um, I don't really think I ever considered doing anything else really. Um, Although there was one point in time when I thought about quitting music, and that was I was about probably 19, um, and I couldn't really stay away from it. I just found out that I felt like I had to do it. Even when I wasn't doing music, I was still doing music. I had given up. I had originally thought I was going to go into being like a classical violinist, and and that was where I was changing my mind about what I wanted, and and so I started. Uh, I got a keyboard and sonic performance sampler, and I was, it had no manual, and you turn it on and nothing happens, because you have to actually load sounds on a floppy disk. And I had to figure out the whole thing. This was before the internet was a big thing. So I had to figure out how to make it work. And I just got really into making electronic music. And that was when I wasn't a musician, during the period of like 2-3 years. So, and then I eventually got back into, uh, you know, performing on the violin and um, and so yeah, that basically sums it up.
The beginning for you. And Mohammed, I talked to you earlier in the pandemic, and to you, we were talking about you being a rocker in Iran as you were growing up and you fell in love with rock and roll. Talk to me a little bit about falling in love with music at that time and that energy from the do you still bring that energy that you had when you first started to fall in love with music to 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 nowadays? How does it work? Like when you look back at the younger Mohammed, what do you remember for your love of music about that time?
Well, since Iran back in the days, was limited, like parents did not persuade their children to go into music. So sometimes, the local church or local mosque was a place where you could go and, sing, So I did that for a while. And then when I moved to Shiraz, but even in when I was in elementary school, I remember I always had, you know, I was getting into trouble with the teacher because I always getting, students together and making noises, sometimes even playing with my tummy, So, but when I was 12 years old, my father had a radio, one of those shortwave radio, and I was playing with it, and it came to this place, and this music comes out, and I had no idea what it was, but I could, it got me, and it was rock music coming from Radio Kuwait, in my father radio, So every night I was, running and hiding and listening to that. So I fell in love with the Western music, but I was always staying close to the Bandari music, which is music of south of Iran, where I was coming from. Um, so in high school, hey, who plays drum, who plays guitar, and underground, and we made this band, where we were playing, for little parties, and I was singing, I was singing, you know, there was this booklet had the Western music. It was called, Top 20, and it had the top 20. It would come out, every 3 4 months, and it had the word in English and then in Farsi. So I learned, how to sing. I learned how to speak English, even though I don't speak good English still, But
One day.
but but I learned how to sing in English there. And those days, Iran, back in the 70, 71, Iran was a place where all these people from Europe were coming, like on the street, you know. So I go to these people sometime, hey, if they had, 45 that I could buy from them. And so there I got exposed to rock and roll music, and so as soon as I graduated from high school, I remember I went to the American embassy, and the consulate looked at me and said, what are you going to United States for? I said, I want to be a petroleum engineer.
You didn't say I want to rock.
Yeah, no.
You should have looked in his face and say, I want to rock and roll all night long.
He was, surprised that I could speak English, and he goes, where did you learn how to speak English, And I said, music. I love rock and roll music. And he said, I remember, he had the glasses on and he looked at my grades and, he looked at me and he said, so you want to be a petroleum engineer? I said, yeah. But he gave me a smile, like, I don't think
Did he give you the visa or no?
yes, in like that, give me a visa. And I said, you know, go rock it out, man. Go rock it out, And here I was, But he knew that I was not gonna come here to be a petroleum engineer, He, knew that. He found out right away.
There were other types of fire that we're gonna get into.
Yeah,
That was
especially that my physics and my chemistry and my algebra grades were not so good, But,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
And then we fast forward many years, and then all of a sudden you are in Austin, fast forward several years. And how did you meet Roberto? How did you guys meet, you two?
I have always told Roberto all these years, he knows that I have always said to him, I am blessed that I met him. And so.
And I have always said, you're welcome.
Yeah, he hasn't been shy about that. And so, I started playing because I love reggae music. I started playing a reggae music called Mystic Spice. And then I started playing with Kamran Hushmand, Oliver Rajamani. But I think my big chance in life was that when I met Roberto and Jason McKenzie, and it evolved into this band now, Atash, that it's the best. Atash is the best thing that has happened in my life. It's just wonderful musicians, professional musicians, and I am so lucky to be in it.
Well, I can tell you the story of how I first became aware of Mohammad.
Uh-oh.
Notice I didn't say met. I said became aware of. So
breaking news.
I was going to school at UT, and there used to be a great coffee shop called Quackenbush. And I used to go there all the time, to study or to write in my journal, or we had an Italian club group that met there. And I would walk from the West Mall. Is that the West Mall? Wait. The South Mall. No, wait. Yeah, that's the West Mall, I think. I don't know, whatever. The one that's right there on in front of Cactus Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And I would walk by there on my way to Quackenbush. And I think it was usually Fridays, right?
Yeah, Fridays, yeah.
Yeah, there was this
Atlanta.
crazy guy with dreadlocks, and he had a conga, and he would just sit there, and you could hear him from like blocks away. He was like, kind of like singing,
An urban hippie.
Yeah, and he was often surrounded by other people. There were sometimes penny whistles and people with all kinds of little instruments and stuff. And I just that was my first awareness of Mohammad. He was just this like force of nature that was just there on the street every Friday when I was on my way to the Italian club meeting at Quackenbush. And so there was a friend of mine named Kathy Gonzalez who told me about A Thousand and One Nights because I was working with the I knew Kamran. I was working with the Middle Eastern Ensemble UT, and uh, and so uh, she told me that Mohammad was part of this band called A Thousand and One Nights, and she gave me a cassette that she had recorded at a performance or something. And I went away. I left Austin for a couple of years and went and taught high school um, orchestra and did some uh, church choir directing and stuff like that for a couple of years. And I was just, I was trying to go into that direction, but I realized that really wasn't for me either. I mean, I love teaching and I love working. I really enjoyed those jobs, but I missed performing a lot, and I wanted to do something original. So after being for 2 years in South Texas, I called up Kamran and I said, "Hey, man, I want to come back to Austin. I want to get into the music scene." And he told me about some gigs he had going on. And then by that point, Mohammad was no longer with A Thousand and One Nights, but he and I would meet up at dinner parties and stuff like that. And it was it was the dinner party of my friend Anjali
I was
when
gonna
we
say, was it before Art Amici or
yes, it was before
Os-
our
before Oscar Riquelme?
yes, those were great times too, though. But yeah, this was a little bit before that. It was around 96, I think, end of 96. Um, my friend Anjali had a dinner party, and Mo and I wound up being the last people left at the party jamming.
Ooh,
And
somehow I'm not surprised.
yeah, and so that was when I heard Muhammad's voice, and I thought to myself, that's the voice I've been looking for, you know. And it's true, Mo. It's true. But so then I said, Kamran, we have to get Muhammad into our band. And Kamran said, our band. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. But that had already they had already worked together, and that wasn't going to happen. So I said, all right, maybe I'll just play with Mohammad and his band. So he invited me to come on stage with them at Lucila's studio in December of 1996.
Was that the Gypsies?
Yeah, the Gypsies, Oliver Rajamani and Jason McKenzie and Alyssa Ramos. Well, now she's Alyssa Ramos, but at the
And
time,
Sarah on the sitar.
there was no sitar. It was
Oh, okay.
just Oliver, Mohammed, Jason. There was I think there was another guitar player.
John Lutzenheiser.
Maybe was he at that gig?
Yeah, it was John Lutzenheiser.
Yeah. John Lutzenheiser. And so I met them on stage while we were performing. I had never, there was no preparation, no rehearsal. And that was pretty much the way it went for a while. Mohammed would just invite me to gigs, and I'd say, okay, are we going to rehearse? And he'd say, oh, just don't worry about it, and it was great. I mean, it was great. It was really, the musicians were really great, and it was a chance to sort of create something on stage, and I loved it. And
And around that time, if I remember, I was just arriving in the United States, and I was in college. There was a resurgence of improvisation-based music. There was a resurgence of several jam bands, and Fish and many others. and at another level that lends itself to a curiosity into improvisation, into Eastern music, and so forth. So that was a good time to be exploring a little bit with high caliber musicians.
Yeah,
Improvisation on
and I
stage, you
mean, and
guys.
the scene was really cool at that time too. When we started playing at Mercury Lounge, we started. That was our first residency, um,
Yeah.
and just the whole scene downtown was so different then.
Uh,
There were just every club had uh, you know, live music and original music, and there was a lot of people kind of knew each other. Like if you were a musician, you could get into any other club for free because they knew you were part of the scene.
Oh,
They'd
I
even give
remember.
they'd even give you drinks and stuff. There was a lot of camaraderie. There was everybody would go to check out each other's bands and stuff. And
I wasn't even a musician. I was a music student, but still,
mhm.
I would even yeah. So a big shout to everybody on that scene. If folks are happen to watch us, if you're watching us right now, Austin Music Channel, channel 16, or if you lived in Austin in the past, if you remember those days, you can comment, you can say hello. But yes, it was quite unique, the music scene in Austin in the 90s, and that was a big part of the reason why I ended up staying here. I just felt this sense of curiosity and openness. So that sounds like that was the seed to you guys starting a connection and then eventually moving on to the concept of Atash, which is what you guys are more known for. And there are so many incarnations and of Atash, and so the breadth of music that you guys play is outstanding and is so vast. So how does it work once you guys marinated your relationship? How did it work to evolve into the beginnings of Atash? As we see here, usually there are musicians from different parts of the world. So how was that process? You guys got to know each other, you like each other's vibe, and then wow, we're going to take this, we're going to refine what we are doing. Tell us a little bit, how did that work?
um, you know, I think um, for me it was like I remember that I told myself I am going to, let the ideas fly, and I realized that I was surrounded by wonderful musicians, and let let things happen.
Well, if I could, uh,
And
I remember
yeah,
I remember when so I left for a little while in 1998. I did some traveling and I went to film school in New York. And while I was gone, Oliver left the band, and he was kind of, I guess I would say, Oliver was sort of the music director of the Gypsies. Um, and so when I came back, of course, I was, sorry that he had gone, but I saw an opportunity to try out my theories about the best way to work with Mo. And so I realized that what Mohammad works best if you can create the vessel and then let him pour himself into it, and so basically I started experimenting with that. There was a whole different group of musicians who had come into the band, and I would say that that was sort of the birth of Atash there, because that was I mean, we're still playing some of the songs that we wrote at that time, and the songs were spontaneous creations in some cases. We would get together, um, sometimes at Amy Mashashevsky's house,
Shout to
and
Amy.
she'd make some great food. Yeah, she'd make some great food, and we'd have wine, and we'd just we'd rehearse some things, but then we'd just kind of hang out and have a good time, and music would just start to come out, and and we worked on music for a film. It was the Unknown, which was a silent film by Todd Browning from I think 1929, and we it was in the process of writing that music, collaborating on that music, that I think the identity of Atash started to emerge, as far as musical styles and the kind of the mixture of improvisation with composed things, and I mean that even though we performed at Alamo Draft House, and even though we composed themes for characters and stuff like that in the movie, we did a lot of improvising with the with the film. So it was a chance to sort of explore, um, I guess, sort of the ethos of the music we were making, or the approach that we were making. And then basically, uh, Jason McKenzie, up until that time, had been he and Oliver had studied together, and with Alok Dutta, and they so Jason was used to playing uh, hand drums when Oliver was in the band, and it was when I saw Jason performing with Alok, Alok Dutta and his group. I think it was called Repak. At this festival, I saw Jason play drum set with all these Indian rhythms and stuff like that, and I thought, man, that's he really shines there. Um, we should uh, we should give him a chance to do that, and so that was sort of the missing element as far as going from the Gypsies to Atash. Is we decided, Jason, don't be limited, man.
All right, guys, we're gonna take just a second and hear some music. This was part one of the interview. Let's hear some music, and then we'll come back to part two of the interview. Thank you for tuning in, whether you are on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Austin Music Channel. That's right, Austin Music Channel, channel 16, Austin Music TV. We are going to listen to Atash live at the Sahara Lounge because we are missing some live music. This was from back in 2018. I hope you enjoy it. And then we're going to be back soon after with the second part of this interview. Enjoy the music. So happy you're here. This is at 7 with Frederico7, my friends Atash.
You are so beautiful. You are so wonderful. You are so magical. You are so powerful. You are the one you've been looking for all your life, all your life. You are the one you've been looking for all your life, all your life.
Yo, yo, we've been checking out Atash. We're going to check out the second half of this interview. Yo, 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 yo. How you doing? How you doing? Hope you guys are doing all right there. It's beautiful to be sharing some community and some music with y'all. Let's go to the second half of my conversation with Mohammad and Roberto of Atash. And I want to remind folks that next week, yeah, look who I got next week here. Yup. Next Monday. It's going to be a beautiful conversation. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I am a big fan of my friend Indrajit Banerjee. Will be here. But he also plays with Atash, right? So every Monday at 7 p.m. Let's check it out, the second half of the interview with Mohammad and Roberto. Enjoy.
Like, be a drummer. You know, you're a good drummer because he.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He
And
turned out to
he,
be.
he was resistant to it at first because he was saying, well, I thought of our music as being sort of like more traditional. And I'm like, no, let's not be traditional. Let's just make our music. Let's not worry about these ideas about trying to be traditional or trying to be anything like that. And then we went to California, and that sort of sealed it. The people who went to California became Atash, and that was me, Jason, Mohammad, Dylan, and John. And then we just expanded from there. I mean, the group kept growing from that point on. But
I'd like to add here something that Roberto mentioned. See, when I was playing with Oliver and Jason and Roberto, Jason was playing hand drum, and I was coming from this rock, rock feeling, and I didn't want to tell him I want, you know, I want
I
some
want some rock and roll into this
some, drum,
into this traditional
yeah,
Eastern
yeah,
aesthetic.
yeah,
I
mix,
want,
yeah, mix it. And I think when I say that I believe in all these mysteries of the spirituality of things happening, was that Roberto discovered that. I think if I had gone to Jason and I would say, Jason, I want you to play rock, maybe that would not work. But for Roberto to see him and playing drum and say, I want you to try this, because Roberto and Jason are the greatest, to me, duo riding partners that you will ever see. They work together, so I mean, it's been 25 years now, so we can say, and all these albums made, they really work good together. And that is not to give credit to any other musicians. I'd like to mention all the musicians in the band, Indrajit Banerjee, John Moon, Abu, Jose, Tierra, Christian Fernandez, Dylan Jones, Rob Cooper, Chris Hauser, Arsani Sella, Abu, all these people that they,
Mike Longoria.
Michael Langoria, you know, all these people that they have contributed to our music. But Jason and Roberto, they are a team.
Well, they are, one is driving the bus, the rhythm section, and then you have Roberto driving beautifully the melody. And often I have been with you guys just as an audience member or as a videographer. Oh yeah, some people watching. I was Atash tour manager for a tour.
That's
One
right.
one
That
day,
was fun.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had the opportunity. I knew some influential people at that time in Mexico, and they asked me, "We want to bring something unique, something heavenly to the city." And I was like, something unique, something heavenly, something universal. And I thought, I called you guys, and I believe it was John Moon picked up the phone. And in the beginning, hello, John, if you're watching, hello, John Moon. John was like, I don't know about this. Yeah, he was very skeptic. Hey, someone's calling from Mexico, and they wanna pay us to go there, and they're actually offering decent money. That doesn't sound
Yeah, it
right.
sounds fishy.
They're going to pay for transportation and hotel. I don't know. We should probably say no.
That was actually one of the best touring experiences we ever had. That trip to
Durango.
Durango, because it was, I mean, it was amazing. Like, first of all, I mean, it's such a beautiful place, right?
Mhm.
And like, just the way the way the whole thing was organized was very, very nice. You know, we had and like it was so weird because there was a car going around Durango with loudspeakers on top of it that was announcing our concert.
Exactly.
You know, and I thought, wow, man, we've made it. And you know, the venue was beautiful, old theater,
That
like a baroque. Is that like a baroque building?
is a neo Baroque building, so it's a take on the Baroque.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
And
because it's a pretty old city, right? I mean, Durango is pretty old.
Durango is, and Patricia Mohammed's wife, she is from Durango. It's one of the oldest cities in Mexico. Is maybe someone from Durango watching can say here on the chat, and they can make a comment. I believe it's about 420 something years old city, so it's almost 450-year old. As we know, anywhere there was silver or gold in the Americas, no matter how far, the Spaniards figured out a way to
Yeah,
get
they'd
there.
find it. Yeah,
And you guys may have remembered there was a long bus ride. It was about a
yes,
20-hour
Yeah,
bus ride, but it was beautiful. The opportunity to, if you guys are watching, just imagine we were able to rent a bus, and in that bus there were 10 members of the samba school, the Austin Samba School, and then there was my band, and Christian Fernandez played with me, and Coutinho went with us, and Daniel Froman. And then we are opening up for you guys, and you guys were the main performers. All of Atash, the part of the Austin Samba School, and then some folks from my band like Coutinho, that he's a character. Hello, Coutinho, if you're watching. So that was like bringing the Austin Carnival, or a taste of world music from Austin straight on a bus down to the middle of the desert. And it felt like we were bringing literally water, cultural water, to the desert. It was not to take away from the cultural traditions of Durango, that they have many, but the type of music that we gave to that city that week was very different than people were accustomed to. And do you guys remember? I mean, how was the reception in general of the people? Because that was the first time they ever heard anything like that.
It was great reception. I remember we met some students, which was wonderful. In fact, I'm still in touch with one of those students that we met. His name
Amazing.
was Francisco. He was a violinist. He was, I guess, a young teenager, or maybe even younger than that at the time. And now he's going to school in Barcelona, studying studying music. So
Wow.
and he's actually getting into early music, like with Jordi Savall, and who's one of the best in the world. And he's what happened to Mo?
He'll be back.
Okay.
I'll get him back.
Gotcha. And he's studying there in Barcelona, and it was just great to see a young person who was inspired by our music go on and become a musician themselves. And there was a really nice review that was written in the newspaper in Durango. It was, I think, one of the best reviews we've gotten. I mean, it's better than the ones we've gotten that have said that we're like generations of housewives. No, what was it? Generations of housewives in the kitchen adding our ingredients to the pot or something. That was one silly review we got in.
That would be a fun website of musicians posting all the weird reviews, because there are some crazy reviews out there.
Weird, some weird video. I mean, some weird reviews of my life. But I'm not going to get into it. But I want to speak about Durango, and was that, in my in the city I was born, Borazjan, there is a lot of scorpions,
Hmm.
huge scorpions. And when I was in Durango, I heard that there is a lot of scorpions here.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
so I was excited to see them. And I remember, that, I was going out and I was looking, see if I could find some scorpions. But it was amazing that, out in the farmer market and the shops, there were scorpions, made, everywhere. So I was looking for scorpions. And
Anybody watching, if you want a belt buckle with a large scorpion in it, that's the place to get one in Durango, Mexico.
anyway, you know, I also wanted to, mention that, um, you know, it's amazing that we have been together, in band, for 25 years. And one of the things that I think has kept us going, and we are still great friends, and we still play together, is that, I can only speak for myself, and that is that, uh, I don't think you should push the music, like push it to where it does not need to go, because then it creates problem. Um, I remember the line from Rumi that I've said a million times, that we have fallen to a place where everything is music, and if one of our instruments must break, there are many instruments playing. By that I mean that you cannot replace Roberto Riggio.
There
He's
is no
trying to butter
Atash.
me up.
That
He's
I
trying to
mean that
butter me up for some reason.
instrument is lost, we're done. So
Um,
yeah, so remember that. But I just want to say, in the band, like, you know, many people have kept this band going. Like let's say Michael Langoria has been there.
Hello, Mike.
Yeah, Michael Langoria has been there for us. Since the Red Fest days. Every time someone leaves, there he is, and he feels the music, and he's always been there, so humble, so beautiful, and I like to
Well,
mention. I like,
and we're always evolving. That's
yeah,
one thing that's kind of
yeah,
interesting about the group. When new people come into the group, it brings another element into the mix and another dimension. And so I'm really curious to see how the our next album is going to sound, because it's there's a lot of, with COVID and people staying home, we're sort of experimenting with how we're going to do our next album. And
yeah,
there's going to be a lot of sort of remote collaboration happening between us, even though we're all in the same town. Um, it's just, you know, we're trying to be very cautious and stay home and not get out and hang out with people too much. So we're doing a lot of trading ideas back and forth right now, and I just think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting process.
I think we are in about to make the most beautiful album of Atash yet. I think this is going to be so beautiful with with Jose Manuel Tierra there, and you know the experience of what we are going through. It's all gonna be there, and I am
I
very excited. Very
I am so excited for you guys. I cannot wait to hear and to share with the world. And eventually, when it's safe, I gonna be as I have been in the past, right there in the front and listening to and cheering you guys on because I love you and I love your music. Um,
We love you too.
yeah, thank you, brother. It's to be my next question, and we are kind of getting towards the end of our time together here. I want to thank once again Austin Music Channel 16 and everybody watching on social media, whether you are in Austin or Mexico or in Brazil, anywhere in the world, maybe friends in Europa or Asia. Um, Now we are in the heart of Texas. Even though Austin is a city that now people around the world start to know about Austin. When I came to Austin, a lot of people outside of the United States didn't know exactly, didn't know much about it. Now with the big festivals and everything that happened in pop culture and tech in the last 15, 20 years, so here we are in this unique time on human existence. We live in an interesting city, and we are playing this music that does not fit in a box. We talked about that a lot between ourselves. Sometimes, yeah, world music, there's a lot of things associated with the term world music. And the reality is, we are living in a world that is beyond definitions. We live and breathe every day in a very globalized world. Maybe we are not traveling everywhere, but all the goods and services, we go to HEB or we go to the store and we can buy things from all over the world. And that's the world we live in.
yeah.
So how is your, I want to know your relationship with that as a musician or as a band, and especially for me it's important because Atash is a six-time winner of the best global music in Austin. So how do you deal with that, Roberto and Mohammad, of making this music that is out of the box, but that you are in the middle of Texas and you're doing global? How is that? Is it something that is it comfortable for you now? Is it still a little bit uncomfortable? Tell
Well,
me a little bit about it.
well, I can, you know, there is there is so much work to be done. I give you a small example. So here we are in Texas, in Austin, and we are sharing this music. And we live in a world where, for example, Lady Gaga, I love Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga goes to a country like Indonesia, a Muslim, majority Muslim country, and 50,000 people come see Lady Gaga, in a tiny Indonesia country. But the singer from Indonesia does not get a chance to come to United States and play for 50,000 people. Now you might say that it's the power of marketing, the power of you know industry, the power of everything. But in reality, it's kind of we live in a world where there is unfairness and there is discrimination, just like anything else.
Well,
Um,
and
world music. We have had our share of it. I am very optimistic, and I love United States of America, and I love Texas, and I love um, but still we want to go to a place where there is fairness. You know, back in the 1979, I was here in Austin, and there was all this world music coming here. You know, that is gone. No more reggae music coming to this town. No more African music coming to this town. Now it's all, you know, been replaced by, you know,
Indie rock
it's
well,
it's
or other things, and nothing against indie rock
yeah,
or
yeah,
any style. It's just
yeah.
it's just the orientation. The orientation seems to be different, and it's actually gone in the wrong direction. Like when I first came to Austin, there were less people here, but I felt like there was more of an orientation towards the world at large. It was seemed like a more international city.
or even like something like hip hop hump day. There was live musicians, and every Wednesday an amazing hip hop show that had a live music element that you will look in the crowd, and the crowd was very diverse. It was
Yeah,
black Austinites, Latinx Austinites, white Austinites, etc., etc. So it
yeah.
was. So I see what you're saying. We earlier maybe I don't know if a little bit of what you're saying is there was this fluidity a little bit.
Yeah, and I think part of it had to do with the fact, or part of it has to do with the fact that there has been so much corporate sort of infiltration in Austin. I remember the drag, Guadalupe Street used to be full of sort of mom and pop places, and there were guys selling incense, and
Rasta shake.
yes,
yeah,
yes, and I mean, there was just a different vibe. It was more low key. Everybody was kind of having a good time. Then it started turning into like Starbucks and Les Amis. I mean that sort of illustrates the change right there. What used to be Les Amis became Starbucks. Les Amis was a wonderful sidewalk cafe where everybody would go just to hang out and drink wine or eat.
yeah. Liberty Lunch, was the
Ye-
center of
yeah,
Oh yeah.
music.
Yeah.
I mean, all these world music bands, used to come to Liberty Lunch, and
And Sound Exchange was there where you could buy. I bought so many of the records that influenced me in world music in from Sound Exchange, um, which is now no longer there. Um, and it just had a different vibe. And when we went to that first tour in California, when we basically became Atash, we called that tour the Fear No Venue tour. This is 2001, and we left in June, and we had a van. We had bought a van, and a 15 passenger van. We just decided we're going to go to California. We had the phone book. We had cell phones. Cell phones were not even that common back then, but we had a couple of cell phones. We were on the way to California, just calling venues out of the yellow pages, and we called it the Fear No Venue tour. Our first gig was in the Westchester Grill, which was a kind of a pool hall near the sports bar near the LAX airport. And the guy opening for us was a middle-aged black man doing karaoke. Like that was our opening act. And
the fires of Atash were forged in
yeah,
strong fires.
right. And I mean it was great. That what we found out was that no matter where we went, people enjoyed our music. Like, people were just there playing pool. No idea who we were. Here we are with Mohammad singing in Farsi, and people were getting into it, and every gig led to another gig, and we started playing, all over the place by the end of that summer. And it just, at that time, people were very receptive to our music, even if it was at an unlikely place. And I don't know if, I wonder if that would be different now in the United States, because everything is so politicized now. I wonder if there, I don't know. I mean, I'd actually like to try.
I'm optimistic.
I'd like to try.
Yeah.
Because we've always had a good response everywhere we've gone.
Yeah.
And I think that could still happen. I'd actually like to prove that it could still happen.
Well, what can go wrong? An Iranian, a Mexican, an African walk into a bar.
A Korean.
Oh, let's not forget, John Moon and his great contribution to the band.
Oh, of course.
He has been,
I am a fan of John Moon. John, if you're watching, I love you so much. And all the work that John Moon does, not only with Atash, but with music education and
Yes.
his going to Haiti. I know that he wasn't able to go to Haiti this last time around. Maybe one day I'll be lucky and be able to go with him, because I really would like to do something like that. But it's beautiful also the work that Alseni Sila and Abu Sila does, and you guys have worked with both. Alseni here is in this picture, and then we'll see, I think we have Abu in this other picture.
Mhm.
And yeah, so all of let's take this moment right now to give love to all of the musicians that have been part of Atash over the years,
Thank you.
because they're outstanding musicians.
Thank you, Freddy. Thank you, Freddy.
And if you are watching with Austin Music Channel 16 and you love Austin music, then you probably have seen these musicians in different. You have seen these musicians in different bands, and it's just a beautiful thing to have you guys here and to talk a little bit about how did you guys start to create something so beautiful together. I will have in future shows, I'm gonna have one episode where I'm gonna interview Indrajit. And hopefully, eventually, I can interview most of you guys. I can talk, do an interview with Abu one day. So, and so forth. Who knows? If I get lucky, I may find Christian Fernandez in the south of France and do an
Yeah,
interview with him.
yeah,
That that would be an accomplishment.
yeah.
But
I talked to him not too long ago. Sometime during the pandemic, he was walking around in I guess Nice. I guess that's where he is. Nice.
hello, Christian. I will be, if everything goes okay. I'm planning a trip to south of France after COVID, so I hope to see him.
Nice.
Guys, what a pleasure it's been to be with you today, Roberto and Mo. We're gonna close with a little game here.
Okay.
Here it is, and then after this, I'm gonna play your music to everybody at home watching. I'm gonna ask you a question, and you're not gonna have a lot of time to think about it. The first thing that comes to your mind, you say it, okay? And if nothing comes to your mind, you can just pass, no problem. This is a questionnaire done by a philosopher, by Proust. He
Oh,
was he was trying to make a questionnaire that you could get to the essence of a human being. I think he's full of it, but still fun to play. So I'm gonna say a question, and maybe Roberto, you go first, and then Mohammed, you go next. But that's the thing. If nothing comes to your mind, just say pass.
okay.
Here it goes. What is your idea of perfect happiness?
Warm water.
How about for you, Mohammed? What's perfect happiness for you?
Sun.
Nice. Next question. What is your greatest fear?
Overcooked pasta.
Mohammed has no fears. Okay, next one. Next one. What is the quality you most like on another human being?
Kindness.
Nice.
Yeah, me too. Kindness.
Kindness, amazing. And what is the quality that you least like, that you dislike in a human being?
Ego.
All right.
Pass.
On what occasion do you lie? Do you ever lie? When do you lie? I don't want to say it. Mohammed thought of something. He just doesn't want to spill the beans. Roberto, did you tell your daughter about Santa Claus? How's the?
What are you saying?
I don't know.
What are you implying?
Well, we can pass on that one. All right. Which living person do you admire? A living person, could be anybody alive that you admire.
Live or dead?
Alive.
Alive. Ah, na, 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 dee, ding, da, dum, da, dum, dum. Barack Obama.
All right.
Let's see. God, there are so many people that I admire,
Many,
and I
yeah,
just can't think of any of them right now.
okay. Roberto does not like anybody. He's like, oh, just kidding. When and where were you the happiest?
I can say that one summer, the summer of 1993, I was in Italy studying Italian, and I know for sure that was one of the best summers of my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where in Italy? Where were you there?
Well, I was sort of all over, but the place where we were studying was called Gargnano del Garda, which is on this lake called Lago di Garda in northern Italy, and just it was a great group of people. I made a lot of friends, some very very good friends who are still friends with me now, from all over the world, and we played music together every night. My voice got to be really good at that time because I was doing a lot of singing. Um, but yeah, that was a great summer.
Beautiful. How about you, Mo? Do you have an unforgettable summer or an unforgettable moment?
I think having my kids coming healthy to world, which I was
Mm,
worried,
nice.
Esteban and Sarah coming out healthy was the most comfort and in a moment.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I can feel that.
Yeah.
What talent would you like to have? Maybe some a talent that you don't have that you would like to.
I would like to be able to build things, like make things out of wood, or um, you know, build houses, that kind of stuff.
Nice. How
I
about
like,
you, Mo?
I like to be a little bit more good looking.
Like modeling. Okay, got it. International modeling.
uh,
You guys are awesome.
uh,
Uh, if you had to live, if you could choose to live, and you had to live outside of Austin, somewhere else in the world, where would that be? We
uh,
forgot how the world looks like. We haven't left our homes in so long.
um, I think city of Shiraz. Shiraz.
Yeah,
I love that city. Yes.
Beautiful.
there are a lot of places I haven't been to, but I love being in Mexico and in Spain and in Italy, which that's sort of those are sort of obvious for me because that's where my family comes from. But
But there
I
are
love those countries.
outstanding places for
Yeah,
sure. What do you most value in your friends? They don't ask me to borrow money.
Uh, kindness. Kind,
Kindness.
kindness. Yeah.
I think for me, sense of humor is pretty important
Mhm.
um, with my friends. Because it's nice to have people you can laugh with.
Absolutely. Do you guys have a favorite writer or writers?
Um,
I
yeah.
love I love Khalil Gibran.
Great.
I love Ahmad Shamlu, Persian, poet, writer. I love him. Yeah.
Beautiful. The tradition of Persian poetry is such rich tradition. It's amazing.
Rumi, Hafiz, yes.
Exactly. It's a deeply rich tradition. And if you guys, you will love the music of Atash, if you love the poetry of Hafiz and Rumi. Do you guys have any favorite, or did you ever had a favorite hero, like a superhero, a childhood hero?
Nelson Mandela.
Nice.
My childhood hero was Beethoven.
Wow, that's pretty amazing and very, very intense guy.
Mm.
Um, which historical figure would you most identify with? Maybe it's even Beethoven. But yes, thinking about history, is there someone in history that you think you would identify with?
I sort of identify with Liszt, the composer Liszt,
Hmm.
because he
Hungarian composer.
Hungarian, yeah, yeah. For some reason, I've always felt this connection to him. Um, just he was one thing about him was he was very encouraging to other artists. He was, and he had a long career, and he went, and he even had like there's a spiritual element to his career. He eventually became an abbe, where he would do exorcisms and stuff like that. Um,
I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
yeah, yeah, but I think I kind of identify with him. I love he's sort of uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, embodies the romantic era, you know. So
Absolutely. Beautiful music. How
yeah,
about you, Mohammed? Anybody in history that you will identify with?
Um, Salif Kita.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah,
Musician from West. Oh, no, is he Salif Kita from Kenya?
from Mali.
From Mali. My mistake.
Yeah.
What a tremendous voice, Salif
Oh
Kita.
yeah, yeah.
Tremendous voice.
I love
Yes. Well, now, in real life, do you have any heroes in real life?
my sister.
Nice.
My sister Tahira.
Hello, Sagre.
Yeah, she's my hero. I love my sister Tahira. She's my hero.
That is amazing.
I have many heroes. I think that a lot of people in my family would be my heroes, and then a lot of the people who are my friends would be my heroes as well.
Amazing. And last question, guys. If you had to had a saying or a motto, a law for living, what is your motto?
Um,
Have a good time all the time.
Oh, that's
that's a
awesome.
that's a Spinal Tap quote.
That is a,
make people laugh.
make people laugh.
Make people laugh, and you know, and help them make it easier, and just live life as it is the last day every day, and feel yourself in the universe.
That overwhelming feeling of the vastness of the cosmos
Yeah.
Yeah.
pressing upon you,
Right,
and there's nothing else but dance
right, right,
or play.
right.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. All of the Atash fans in Austin are going to be thrilled to have a chance to see you guys and just to laugh a little bit with us. If you've been watching on Austin Music Channel 16, thank you for watching. We are going to play the music of Atash.
Thank you so much, Reggie.
Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you, Reggie.
Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, Reggie.
Amazing,
Bye-bye.
amazing,
See you.
amazing.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, guys. So this was our conversation here with Mohammed and Roberto. It was a longer conversation than usual. We had a lot to talk about. Thank you so much, y'all, for being here, for watching. I'm going to play some music just to end the night, kind of in a meditation. Let's play some Atash to finish our time together. Next Monday at 7 p.m., as a reminder, I will be with Indrajit. We're going to talk so much music. I want to hear about his origins, how he fell in love with music, how he sees East versus West, and the combination thereof, and the many things that he's always doing. I am a big fan of his music. He's also an Atash musician, but he does a lot of other stuff. So and then other Mondays, I already got some beautiful people lined up to come have conversations and to share music. Our show goes live on Austin Music TV channel 16 Mondays from 7 to 8, and then we stay longer. So I do ask, if you like this content, you can subscribe. You can see right below me on my YouTube channel, created a few months ago, and I'm trying to grow it so can keep sharing this content with you and also some music. So have a great week ahead. Especially special love to healthcare providers, mental health care providers, and teachers out there. We love you very much, and we are bringing community. Hopefully, keeping some of you guys entertained. We are going to hear. We have heard in earlier in the hour, and if you just caught this last bit, you can tune in to my YouTube channel, so then you can watch the beginning of our time today. But we have heard two tracks by Atash from 2018 and I believe 2019. And now we will hear Mohammad and Atash, but a smaller ensemble. These are some shows they did on social distancing back in April, outdoor in a backyard for your enjoyment. So enjoy Mohammad and several members of Atash, including beautiful brothers Abu, Mike Longoria, Jose Manuel Tejeda, and there is beautiful Mohammed. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Much love. Leave comments for Atash or for me right here below. And keep enjoying your week ahead. Muito obrigado. Thanks for subscribing. Bye bye. Obrigado, gente. Thank you very much. See you next Monday. Much love. Mohammad, Roberto, Atash, família in Austin, in Brazil, all over the world. Axé, muito obrigado. See you next Monday. Tchau, tchau.